What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and happy Super Bowl weekend. We're finally here, the moment we've all been waiting for. Chiefs versus 49ers. We've been working up to this since August, and I'm here to talk about it. But before I get into that, let me get a couple things out of the way. If you don't know who I am HD Sports TV, also known as HD Sports Podcast. I do have a podcast you can listen to here on YouTube. If you just click that subscribe button, there is a podcast playlist, and you can go ahead and listen back to all the previous episodes I have. Also, you can listen on Spotify and Stitcher. Next season, I will be putting only podcast episodes on Spotify and Stitcher. You can only get clips of them here on YouTube. But don't go away for just the podcast, because I have extra content here on YouTube. I have a player breakdown on Colin Kaepernick. If you want to go check that out, it's on the channel. It's actually, again, on a playlist of player breakdowns. It's the only one right now. I do have a couple coming up, and it's on my list of things to do for the off season. And I also have breaking news, talking points that I do talk about. So if you want anything like that, go ahead and click subscribe and keep up with my journey here on YouTube and my journey here talking about sports. Now that that's out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about the keys for the Super Bowl. I have 3 keys. This is where the battles are won and lost. 3 of them. Number 1, the amount of pressure on Patrick Mahomes is crucial to this game. Let's get right into the best player playing in the Super Bowl. This battle doesn't really depend on the play of Patrick Mahomes. It depends on the men up front to protect him. Giving Patrick Mahomes enough time is going to be crucial to the Chiefs, and limiting that time is going to be important for the 49ers. For the 49ers, blitzing isn't always key for them because they have a front 4 consisting of Nick Bosa, Dee Ford, Eric Armstead, and DeForest Buckner. Each man deserves their own respect that they have earned on the defensive line. You can't discount any of them. With Dee Ford back in the lineup, he adds an extra oomph that you can't quite get with a backup defensive lineman. You have to respect him more than any other backup defensive lineman that you have on the depth chart. And I think the key for the 49ers is to don't blitz often. Yes, I said don't blitz often. Basically, stick to what you do. Patrick Mahomes' passer rating sits at 106.3 when not being blitzed. But when that defense sends the 5th or 6th extra man, his passer rating jumps up to 117.2. He's far better when being blitzed, and that says something about the person he is, his vision, even when under pressure. The 49ers need to stick to dropping 7 men back into coverage and just hope the defensive line can create that pressure they need. And that's easier said than done, because the Chiefs' offensive line has only given up 17 sacks to Patrick Mahomes specifically, because Matt Moore did play in the middle of the season, but to Patrick Mahomes specifically, 17 sacks. And if we're counting the 2 games in the playoffs, that's 19 sacks in 15 games that he played. He was also limited in the mobility factor because of the knee and ankle injuries I did mention a moment ago in the middle of the year. Aaron Rodgers was consistently pressured in the 2 games he played against the 49ers this season, the regular season and the playoffs. You saw the result of that. He had no time to think, let alone throw, and the Green Bay Packers were blown out as a result. Let's not make the same mistake that the Packers made. Mitchell Schwartz, Eric Fisher, Laurent Duvernay-Tardif, yes, that's one person's name, Austin Ryder, and Stefan Wininski may have the most important and the toughest job this Sunday. If they fail, Patrick Mahomes will look like Aaron Rodgers earlier this year, and the speedy Chiefs offense will be grinded to a halt. This is one battle. In my opinion, who's going to win this battle? I think it's close. I think the 49ers will take this battle, and they will put a good amount of pressure on Patrick Mahomes. The next key for this game is conservative versus aggressiveness. Okay, and what does that mean? Both of these teams are going to try to play polar opposites, or at least they should try to play polar opposites from each other. The 49ers being the conservative ones and the Chiefs being the aggressors. And this really comes down to Andy Reid being fast-paced and pedal to the metal from start to finish. He needs to carry over that same mindset that he had from the Texans playoff game when they were down 24-0. If the team can come in and score fast and hard from the get-go, not when they're down 24-0, there's very few teams in this league that can keep up with them. And hopefully it keeps the 49ers from exploiting some of the Chiefs' weaknesses. And if the Chiefs' defense can get a handful of stops right out the gate, the Chiefs can get out to a couple score lead, and the Chiefs can pull off a legitimate blowout. Not just a win, but a legitimate blowout, in my opinion. The 49ers are going to be looking to do the same thing on the defensive side of the ball in terms of getting a few stops right away. Instead of playing it pedal to the metal, though, they should look to burn the clock out by running the ball, which they're very good at, and is one of the Chiefs' weaknesses, like I mentioned, the defense weaknesses. They also need to exploit the yak. What does yak mean? Yak means yards after catch. The Chiefs are very poor at this also when defending specifically the running backs and tight ends. They're the best in the league at the wide receiver position, but the 49ers' strengths are the running back and the tight end position specifically. Obviously, you have one of the best, if not the best, tight end in the game in George Kittle, and you have a, 3-4-headed monster at running back at this point. And I don't think it comes down to the running back itself. I think it comes to the brilliance of Kyle Shanahan and his offensive mind. If they can keep the game within reach and keep Patrick Mahomes off the field for an extended period of time by burning that clock like I was talking about, then the 49ers can possibly be looking at their 6th Super Bowl. Now, who wins this battle? Who wins this one? In my opinion, I think Andy Reid finally learns from his coaching mistakes in the Super Bowl, and he goes high tempo, high octane offense, straight from Jump Street, and he wins the aggressive versus conservative battle. And it's going to be a blowout, or the 49ers are going to keep up, and it's going to be a very, very, very high-scoring game, which means a very good game for the fans. So right now, as it stands, in this little battle points testing, I guess we can call it, or where the battles are won and lost, conservative versus aggressiveness, that's 1 point for the Chiefs. And when it comes to putting pressure on Patrick Mahomes, 1 point for the 49ers. So in my eyes, it all comes down to this last point, and that is which defense steps up on the biggest stage. Defenses win championships, and the Chiefs and 49ers are no slouch on that side of the ball. The 49ers boast a front four that have combined for a total of 33 sacks, as we talked about earlier. They don't need to blitz often because how talented this defensive line is. This allows the defensive backs to hold down the secondary, as they have allowed the fewest passing yards and defended the 10th most passes in the league. The Chiefs are equipped with speed, but the 49ers have allowed only 10 passes of 20 yards or more downfield. 10 all season. The next closest is the Steelers, allowing 16, so it's not even close. We've heard this story all year, though. The 49ers have one of the best, if not the best, defense in the league. And if anyone can slow down this offense, the Chiefs offense specifically, and Patrick Mahomes, it will be this defense. On the Chiefs side of the ball, they might not look as dominant or scary as the 49ers, but you can't take this defense lightly. This isn't the same Chiefs defense from a couple of years ago where they ranked 31st in the league total defense. This is a whole new animal. If you look at the season stats for the Chiefs defense on the running side of the ball, it doesn't look great. But down the stretch of the regular season, they made huge strides. Since week 12, the Kansas City run defense hasn't allowed a 100-yard rusher, giving up only 88 yards per game on the ground. And even more impressive is they held King Derrick Henry himself in check, as Derrick Henry was setting rushing records for the most rushing yards over an 8-game stretch. The Chiefs defense were up next, and the Chiefs defense looked like another defense to be crushed, to walk all over, ran all over, literally, but it was not the case. They won the game, they held their own, and this is the weakest part of the defense. The passing defense ranks 8th, and they also rank 5th in interceptions. And then a pass rush led by Chris Jones and Frank Clark. And now all of a sudden the Chiefs look elite on the defense side of the ball. Especially you see that they only allowed 10.4 points per game in the final 5 weeks of the regular season. So this defense is capable of holding teams in check. Obviously, we haven't seen that this time around in the playoffs. Obviously, they've allowed a lot of points in the playoffs, but they are certainly capable of it. But which one will pull out? It remains to be seen. I won't give my final on this one. You guys make up your own decision, and you tell me which defense steps up on the biggest stage. Let me know down in the comment section below. Two last things I want to say. They're not really big battles up front. There's just a couple things I want to mention. Chiefs, cut out the bad mistakes at the beginning of the games. If you let the 49ers up early, you will never get it back. And the 49ers, use this underdog mentality that you still have to your advantage. It worked for the Eagles a couple years ago, and they were not nearly as good as you guys are. They were not that good compared to what you guys are now. Use it and use it to win. And my final pick for the Super Bowl, in my opinion, will be the Chiefs topping the 49ers 31-27. Everybody go ahead and go down in the comment section below. Give me your final prediction and score and who's going to win this Super Bowl. But that's all I have for you guys today. If you enjoyed the video, please like the video. And if you want to keep updated with my channel, with my posts, I have a lot of cool things coming out in the off season. Football season never stops. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. That's all I have for you guys. Peace.